You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Welcome to ABC 7 News at 4, and we are watching a nice hot afternoon with a few scattered storms around. We also just got the midweek report in as far as red tide goes, and it appears that it's lessening somewhat over central sections of Manatee County going out into the Gulf. It's still increasing, unfortunately, in Sarasota. We'll have those graphics for you in just a little bit. We'll take a look right now at the Van Wezel webcam showing calm conditions out there over the waters. As a result of high pressure, the wind has been out of the west this afternoon for coastal locations. Not the best news for red tide. We have some better news, though. We're going to start to see an east to northeast wind, and it'll be around 10 miles an hour. So that'll be better as far as pushing that red tide offshore, at least the harmful impacts offshore. But I have had reports red tide coming back strong in some areas with fish kills in Sarasota and in parts of Manatee County. 102, that's what it feels like right now, 89 degrees. That dew point's way up there on that west wind at 9, so that sea breeze has kicked in. And it's also kicked off a few showers already and a few isolated thunderstorms. Not a lot of activity because of the dry air that's in place in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. The storms kind of pop up and rain themselves out for the most part. You can see that one lone shower near Oneko and Samoset. There it is. It's weakening now. It did generate some lightning. The one just to the southeast of Lake Sarasota also producing some showers and storms there. So a little bit of more rain there near West Samoset. And then there's the one cell near Jacaranda. We did have some rain near Fruitville and Clark Road, I-75 earlier. That has since moved on. And that's what we're going to look for. Hit or miss, scattered showers, widely scattered that is. And that east coast breeze still kind of well off to the east of us. So we're not going to see that collision until late tonight if it happens at all. So look for just a slight chance for a few showers. You can see some of that outflow boundary heading off toward the southeast in Manatee County. Well, more on our weather forecast. Take a look at the tropics, see if anything's brewing out there. Coming up in just a few minutes. Stick around. Jacqueline Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to our top story. Almost 20 years after a Sarasota woman was sexually battered, beaten, and murdered, deputies arrest her suspected killer.
That break came in the form of new DNA technology that led detectives to their man. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the Sarasota home where that victim was killed back in 1999. Jess.
Jacqueline Scott, in March of 1999, Deborah Dalzell had just purchased this home behind me and moved here from Massachusetts. We're just off of Ashton Road in Sarasota. One morning, she didn't show up for work. Her boss got worried, and deputies came to her home to find her dead. And up until now, a killer was never arrested. Now, 39-year-old Luke Fleming is charged with her murder and is behind bars in Sarasota County. Deputies arrested Fleming Sunday night in Ellington. According to the Sarasota Sheriff's Office, back in 1999, Fleming was 20 years old when he scaled a 6-foot wall, cut a hole in Dalzell's screened-in porch, then brutally beat, sexually battered, and strangled her. At the time of Dalzell's death, Fleming lived in walking distance from her home. He's since moved to St. Petersburg. It was new advances in DNA evidence that led deputies to Fleming. Deputies had collected a semen sample from the scene in 1999, but it wasn't until recent years that a new technology was developed, ultimately leading deputies to Fleming.
He has an unremarkable criminal history, which includes a domestic battery arrest in 2002 by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Over the past year, Luke has been residing alone in Pinellas County.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, you'll hear from Dalzell's sister, Peggy, and then at 6, I'll take you through this DNA process and explain exactly what led deputies to Fleming. For now, reporting live in Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. Also coming up tonight at 5, we'll have more details on Luke Fleming's background and what he's been doing for the last 20 years. At least one person is dead in a crash on I-75 north at the entrance to the I-275 interchange. The accident happened around 4:30 this morning in the northbound lanes of the interstate. A semi-truck crashed into the concrete support of the 275 overpass. Investigators believe the truck's driver was killed. Engineers assessed the bridge for any structural damage, but found no issues with the span. Manatee County Sheriff's Office is asking for help in finding one of its canines. The dog's name is Boss. The Sheriff's Office says the dog ran into the woods this morning near Foxbrook Communities off of County Road 675 in Parrish. Boss was in the middle of his morning routine when he was distracted and then took off. Boss is a Belgian Malinois who has a friendly demeanor, but it's better to call the Sheriff's Office if you see him and not try to handle him. There is a chance he could be injured and/or scared. It took 8 years, but a man is now in custody for allegedly stealing a $500,000 boat in Charlotte County. The Charlotte Sun reports Giovanni Valladares Ramirez was arrested in Texas and then brought to Charlotte County. He's accused of stealing a $550,000 boat from Punta Gorda and then taking it to Cuba back in 2010. Police are warning drivers to keep an eye on their bank and credit card accounts after a skimmer was found at a Sarasota gas station. Police say the device was placed on one of the pumps a week ago at the Citgo station on Bee Ridge Road. Station employees discovered it the next morning, but it had potentially been stealing credit card info for about 3 hours. Police are encouraging anyone who used the Citgo recently to keep a close eye on your bank and credit card accounts. Jacqueline joins us now with more on President Trump's visit to flood-ravaged Carolinas.
Scott, the president getting a first-hand look at the life-threatening situations in the Carolinas today. Entire communities are completely cut off and taken over by rising waters. Waters are slowly receding in some places, not yet revealing the damage and debris left behind. Near Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Cape Fear River quadrupling its depth from 15 to 60 feet by yesterday afternoon.
Some of the flooding is actually epic, hard to believe. And we've seen all the pictures where houses are literally covered beyond the roof. You don't even know there's a house there.
More than 1,000 flooded roads were closed in North Carolina, 200 in South Carolina that are literal roadblocks to ongoing recovery efforts and delivering much needed supplies across the area. The Senate is now trying to decide how to proceed with the Supreme Court nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. President Trump says he is still skeptical of the sexual assault accusation against Kavanaugh, but for the first time he seemed to suggest that Kavanaugh's nomination could be in jeopardy.
If she shows up and makes a credible showing, that'll be very interesting, and we'll have to make a decision.
The chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley, scheduled a hearing for next week, but last night Blasey Ford's attorney sent him a letter saying in part an FBI investigation of the incident should be the first step in addressing her allegations. A man charged with killing 20-year-old University of Iowa student Molly Tibbetts appeared in court today. 24-year-old Christian Bahina Rivera pled not guilty to the charge of first-degree murder. Tibbetts vanished while out for a run in Brooklyn, Iowa on July 18th. The search for Tibbetts lasted more than a month. Police say on August 21st, Rivera led them to Tibbetts' body in a cornfield, but he told them that he doesn't remember killing her. An autopsy shows Tibbetts died of several stab wounds. A woman convicted in the infamous kidnapping of Elizabeth Smart is now free. Wanda Barzee was originally set for release in 2024, but a state board in Utah unexpectedly credited her for the time that she served during a separate federal sentence. Barzee and her husband, Brian Mitchell, kidnapped Smart when she was 14. She was held captive for 9 months and regularly raped by Mitchell, who is serving a life sentence. Smart says Barzee is still too dangerous to be released, but her attorney says the woman is not a risk to anyone.
Additional conditions of supervised release that involved absolutely no contact, directly or indirectly, with any member of the Smart family.
Barzee must also register as a sex offender as a condition of her release. A Texas man who tried to post plans for a 3D printed gun online has now been charged with sexually assaulting a child. Cody Wilson is accused of having sex with a girl under the age of 17. Authorities say the incident occurred back in August and Wilson paid the girl $500. A report says the girl told police that she met the 30-year-old on a website. Wilson first rose to national prominence several years ago when he posted designs for a 3D printed handgun online. The government ordered those blueprints to be taken down, and Wilson then sued. Well, let's send it back to Scott with more on how a local fraternity is raising money to support minorities. Scott?
That's right, Jacqueline. A local nonprofit is helping raise money for scholarships to support those minority students beyond the classroom. Some Suncoast teenagers are learning about the importance of etiquette, appearance, and manners. The 8-week course also includes advice on body language and self-esteem. One student says one of her mentors in high school told her about this course.
I feel like this is a great idea to be in this type of class to better my future and to improve myself in certain aspects in life.
The local Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity is having its 35th annual Black and White Ball this weekend at the Hyatt Regency Sarasota. Their mission is to raise money to support minority youth outside the classroom through activities like this manners and etiquette course. Still ahead, how new funding is going to help some Florida game fish species recover from red tide. Plus, everything you need to know before you head out to the Venice Beach Party this weekend, including a change in the event's location. And it's on again for the original PlayStation. More on the revamped version of the iconic gaming console.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value and great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Welcome back. As red tide continues to kill fish and other marine animals on the Suncoast, the state of Florida is trying to replenish the population of some of them. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now from Venice with exactly what's being done to bring more fish into our waters. Rebecca?
Scott, masses of dead fish continue to wash ashore, and red fish has become one of red tide's biggest victims. On top of this being an environmental emergency, the population of one of the most important species on the Suncoast might have dropped significantly. In hopes to bring the numbers back up, Governor Scott announced that FWC is directing $1.2 million for research and production of red fish. FWC's Stock Enhancement Research Facility in Port Manatee will now have additional equipment and supplies to be able to spawn and raise more red fish to be let out into the Gulf as soon as the waters are safe to do so. Tonight at 5:30, I'll explain exactly how this will work at FWC's facility. Plus, you'll get to hear from a local fisherman who hopes this can save the fishing industry this year. For now, live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. The Venice Beach Party planned for this Saturday has been moved inland because of red tide concerns. The party will be held in the western half of Centennial Park in the historic downtown area of Venice. This map shows the current road closures and downtown construction for the city's beautification project. The star is the event site and the red is closed roads. The sidewalks and crosswalks should all be open, and signs will also be posted at Venice Beach to direct people to that new location. Jacqueline is in the newsroom now with what's trending today.
Scott, thousands of people stop by Buckingham Palace every day hoping to catch a glimpse of the royal family. But some lucky tourists didn't get to see the Queen, but another famous celebrity. Take a look. Well, it doesn't look like it, but that's actually Justin Bieber, spotted strumming his guitar in London yesterday, playing for his fiancée, Hailey Baldwin. Of course, it was the perfect opportunity for a photo op at the palace for all those tourists that were there. Wearing shorts and a hoodie, Bieber actually looks like any other street performer you might see outside of Buckingham Palace, with an open guitar case ready to collect tips. But with his touring and record sales, the 24-year-old doesn't need any donated pounds. Well, it's been a long couple of months seeing marine life here on the Suncoast be affected by red tide. But yesterday, a pod of about 10 dolphins spotted swimming about 30 miles off the coast of Anna Maria Island. This video, sent in by Team Galati, looks beautiful out there, doesn't it? Now, if you'd like to send us your marine life videos, you can send them to pics@mysuncoast.com. We would love to see any of those. Well, let's send it back to Scott in the studio for a look at today's consumer news.
Well, Jacqueline, by the end of the year, Amazon is expected to be the third biggest ad platform in the country. A report by research firm eMarketer shows more and more people are starting their product search on Amazon instead of internet search engines. That means Amazon can get more money for advertising on its site. The industry leaders are currently Google and Facebook. They control a combined 58% of the digital ad market. Sony is going back in time with its signature gaming system. The company bringing back its original PlayStation, but with a twist. The new miniaturized version will be called PlayStation Classic. The console will come preloaded with 20 classic titles, including fan favorites like Final Fantasy VII, Jumping Flash, and Tekken 3. PlayStation Classic will go on sale in December and will cost around $100. Let's toss it over now to Bob Harrigan in the Weather Center.
Well, here's a look at the Holmes Beach webcam. You can see out there flat, calm conditions. Not a lot of beach traffic. Looks like things are improving slightly in Manatee County as far as the red tide goes. Mid-Manatee County, the north and south end, still some issues out there. Obviously, the west wind, not the best. We're going to see a sea breeze every day, it looks like, but a more easterly component to our wind flow over the upcoming days, right through the weekend and even beyond. We're going to see that east to northeast wind. Right now, there's not much wind, and so these storms really aren't moving all that much, and the east coast breeze having a hard time getting over here. So we won't see as much convergence as we saw yesterday. It's still well to the east of our area. You can see it kind of coming down right there. And this is a long way off the one moving through Manatee County right now. We've had pop-up showers here and there. That's all we've really seen this afternoon. And with the air so dry in the upper levels, we're not expecting these storms to stick around all that long, simply because they'll rain themselves out. There's just not enough moisture to keep them going for a long duration. Although this one here near Oneko has been around for at least a half hour. That's slowly winding down. This one now starting to make a break toward the coast. It had been sitting out here for about 10-15 minutes, and now it's making a break through the Venetian near Jacaranda Boulevard. So folks to the south and west of that, near Venice and South Venice, near Center Road, get some rain. You can hear that rumble of thunder already. It's a good idea to pack up the outdoor activities right now. You can see the tops of these storms getting up to about 35,000 feet right now, and this activity pushing off toward the southwest, as I mentioned. So look for some moderate to heavy rainfall there, but they're very isolated at this point. And the Futurecast is showing just a few scattered storms around this evening, most of that winding down, and we'll see mostly fair skies overnight. Another warm night, though. Low temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s tomorrow. As that sea breeze starts to get going, we'll see some showers and storms scattered about just after noon tomorrow, and those will have a tendency to drift inland. Here comes the east coast breeze, though. It will move over. A better chance of some more scattered storms and some pretty heavy rainfall as the two meet there in the central viewing area and then push off toward the west. looks as though we'll have better chance for showers and storms over the upcoming days with more of an east wind colliding with that west coast sea breeze in the afternoon and evening. And that will be the case, I think, right through the weekend. Now, this particular system, this is a old tropical storm, Isaac. It is now just a tropical wave, creating some heavy rainfall in the Yucatan Peninsula. Also right there in the the western tip of Cuba. Again, that's pushing off toward the west, toward Texas and toward Mexico at this point. Elsewhere in the tropics, all fairly quiet right now. Again, that system's heading off to the west. We have the remnants of what was Joyce way out there in the Atlantic, really not doing much at all. Fairly quiet right now. It's a little lull. We'll have a week or so of no activity, I think, and then things will start to pick back up again. You can see just kind of an area of showers and storms scattered about, moving to the west. Conditions are unfavorable for development with that remnant low. Now, storms by the month. We're just about through the month of September here in a week or so. And then there's a little mini peak in October. We have about 17% of the storms occur in the month of October. So that's fairly high. Still a pretty good chance of that happening in October. Temperature right now, 89 degrees, 90 in downtown Sarasota, 93 in Mayaca City, 87 the Gulf water temperature, and 87 now in Venice. Boaters tomorrow, the winds out of the northeast, and that sea breeze kicks in late in the afternoon at 5 to 10 knots. The extended forecast then calling for summer-like conditions all the way through the weekend, and it looks like even beyond, a chance for showers and storms scattered about right through early next week as well. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Coming up, after getting coverage and accolades from news outlets around the world, a 10-year-old swimmer is now being recognized by local leaders in California.
I'm Joey Panic from Suncoast View. Coming up Thursday morning at 9 a.m. from reality TV back home to the Suncoast, Connor Obrachta was one of the hottest contestants on The Bachelorette last season. Well, he's going to join us. We're going to talk about last season, about life after the reality show. Plus, we'll get his take on next season's new Bachelor. Hip-hop meets classical music this weekend. We'll get a musical preview from the Art, Rhythm, and Culture Festival, plus what's new at Oslo Rep this season. That's all coming up Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
For upscale dining with an unparalleled Gulf view, find your way to Finn's at Sharky's.
Fins at Sharky's, breaking the surface of extraordinary dining.
Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.
A California community is honoring a hometown swimming sensation who could be the next Michael Phelps. Yesterday, Monterey County officially declared September 18th Superman Clark Kent Apuada Day. 10-year-old Apuada, who happens to share his name with the character in the Superman comics, Clark Kent, pulled off a big surprise this summer. He broke a 100-meter butterfly record that Phelps set when he was the same age. Apuada beat the legendary Olympian by more than a second. He said having a day named after him feels very special.
I feel great, feel amazing. Trying to get the national age group records. And yeah, my ultimate goal is to make it to the Olympics.
I think that might happen one day. Phelps set the record in 1995 and later went on to become the most decorated Olympian of all time. Let's get back to Jacqueline now in the newsroom with a quick look at some of the other stories we're working on. Jacqueline?
Scott, September is Suicide Awareness Month, and a stat from the U.S. Department of Veterans shows an average of 20 veterans commit suicide each day. Coming up at 5, we'll hear how one Tampa Bay area veteran is trying to change that number. And tonight at 6, a new study shows the absentee ballots of young voters and racial minorities in Florida are more likely to be rejected than others. And at 7, one local event director in Sarasota is asking for thousands of dollars to improve security following several recent attacks right here in Florida. Let's send it back to Bob in the studio for a look at our final forecast.
Thanks, Jacqueline, and take a look at this. Partly cloudy skies for our beach walk forecast tonight. Sunset right at 7:30 sharp. We'll look for partly cloudy skies. A slight chance for a few coastal showers scattered about. West winds, though, will be with us 5 to 10 miles an hour, eventually breaking down to the east after the sun is set. Nice photo from last night from Fred Seeger looking out over Casey Key. Current conditions, we have 89 degrees. The feels like temperature, though, at 102. And that's going to stay pretty hot throughout the rest of this week, too. Temperatures will be slightly above average, despite the fact summer coming to an end on Saturday, at least the calendar summer. And you can see one of the West Coast sea breeze has made its way inland right now, and we have storms moving in all different directions. This is a little kind of a crazy afternoon when you have light steering currents, and you can see a little bit of activity on I-75. Scott, back to you.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us at 4. We'll see you again at 5 o'clock.